All right. I'm John Chen, your host for Engaging Virtual Meeting Podcast. If you're watching here on social media, make sure and subscribe, share, like, and comment. I am almost to 1,000, my first 1,000 subscribers. So if you do follow the link to YouTube, make sure and click the bell, right? Hit subscribe and hit the bell, and you too could be the 1,000th person to subscribe. Yeah, thank you already to all the people who have done so. In addition to that, if you want every episode here, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.online. And you can get all the episodes here and a brand new episode every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we drop a new episode. In addition to that, if you want to be more engaging in the world, this next guest has been here. He's been here virtually as one of our top guests. This year will be October 20 through 22nd. And this guest, too, might be one of the people who transitions to be one of our keynote speakers. All you got to do is scan the QR code, get a free ticket. And if you want to figure out how to be a speaker, well, just let me know. Now, speaking of which speaker, this guy was challenged to be all right, an interviewee here on my show by another guest and saying, why is he not here? And so I sent him a message saying, why are you not here? And so now he's here, and that's how it happens here. Maybe that will be the new question that I'm going to ask you, upcoming speaker, is who are we going to dare next? Maybe that will be the fun part. Okay, who is this person? Well, what happens when you mix the talent of Denzel Washington, the intensity of Lawrence Taylor, and the fashion sense of John Chen, a speaker who speaks to organizations that understands the billion-dollar cost of disengaged teams and wants leaders who anchor instead of wobble. I feel like there's a song there. Through his signature keynote and book, Win from Within, he has transformed leadership teams at corporations, conferences, and entrepreneurial summits, creating measurable shifts in engagement, execution, and resilience. Hey, let's welcome this next guest, who's a professional speaker and MC extraordinaire. Put your hands together for the one and only Alex Dumas. Oh, look at that. I got slow button. Hold on. There we go. Alex Dumas.
Yeah, awesome.
What's up, Alex? Let's see. I have, wait, let me check all the other walk-on music. Why is my walk-on music slow today? Look at this. It's like Alex is so strong, he can break the buttons here in my studio.
I'm breaking the internet right now. I was short-circuiting the whole cyber world.
No, this is not it. This is that. Oh, you know what? I think it's this one. That's more it.
Okay. Oh, it's nice. I feel like a nice glide. I feel like I need a J HUD like walkway right now.
Oh, yes, slide.
Slide to the left, yeah.
All right, there we go. Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Man, fantastic, John. Great to be here with you. Excited to be talking about engaging virtual meetings.
And those hybrid ones and those in-person-y things too. The world's open back up, and so it's fun. It's exciting. Is that the engagement has so many things in common with those three platforms. It's just some specifics sometimes are different, but the love too, and here in the engagement, you're just talking about too, right? Disengaged teams. I can't wait to dive into that. But before we dive into anything, Alex, a few of my friends don't know you like I know you. So why don't you take the moment here and share who you are and what you do in the world?
Yeah, so for anyone who wants to know about me, most important things to know about me is that I'm a loving husband, awesome father to two kiddos who make my job real easy in life. But outside of the personal side of things, I'm a professional speaker, MC, as John shared earlier, also a corporate trainer, and soon to be now a full official author. I've co-authored several anthology books in the past, but this year my solo baby is going to be born in the fall. And it's all about just helping people reconnect with that competitive spirit inside so that they can do what my talks say, win from within, look at how they can elevate their self-worth, how they look at getting focused on their intentions and just making sure that they have a robust and strong network, you being a part of mine being a part of yours. And that's how we make magic happen. So I'm just a guy who loves to be a champion for people, who loves to celebrate people and bring people together, have fun, and also have a huge impact for others, right? That's the important part. What we do is also benefiting other people.
All right, how'd you get into this, Alex? What did you do before, and how did you get in now to helping other people?
Well, helping people has been a part of who I am. It's just part of my DNA. But the real origin story of speaking, I'm gonna take you back. We're gonna time travel, John, to
Oh, wait.
2015.
Wait, we're gonna go back. Okay.
Yeah, it was like the Twilight Zone for a bit. So 2015 was a great year and also a year from hell for me. So I'll give you this quick snapshot of 90 days of what my life was like. April 22nd, my son is born. Woohoo! Life is perfect. My daughter is over, rising kindergartner. So I got the thing my parents told me to do. Right, get the job, get married, have kids, do all that stuff. So 2 kids, 1 kid, 1 boy, 1 girl. Life is good. Fast forward 3 days later, John, my mom passes away.
Oh,
Ouch. Yeah,
oh,
that's life for you, right? Life and death, they go together.
yes.
Then fast forward 3 months after that, I'm let go from a job. I'm laid off. So here I am as a unemployed father. I'm a grieving son, and I'm this budding entrepreneur because in the middle of this, I'm trying to build up my first business as an entrepreneur. So it's a financial services, network marketing type of deal. And I'm doing all right, but with all these emotions, everything just kind of crashing around me, I tuck my tail in and go back to corporate in 2016, which is it was tough for me back then, but it was actually the blessing in disguise because the sales role that I landed put me in proximity with professional speakers and digital marketers and coaches. And I already started to have like this little interest in it. And then I was just full on immersed, going to conferences, looking at websites, making inbound calls, obviously, making outbound calls, responding to inbound leads. And that light turned on for me, John. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to learn how to move people and mobilize people. So I shared that. That's 2016.
Okay.
I stay on the sideline until about 2022, where I created my first opportunity to be on stage and MC and speak. And that light again, right? You think of like Thanos from the Avengers when he put on that gauntlet. Like that was the moment. That was the thing for me. I had the mic in my hand, and I'm like, this is what I'm meant to be doing. This is easy. I can do this. I really can do this. And it's just been the pursuit ever since.
Genius. Well, you're in the speaker community. I see you around, right? So like 80% of the job is just showing up, right? You just gotta show up in lots of different places. And I tell that to new speakers too. They don't get out enough. Even when they're not speaking, they should get out. And so, like, I go to lots of meetings here in Seattle of other associations and organizations, and that's where a lot of stuff happens, where people lean over and they're like, "Oh, I was thinking about you, John. Can you show up here on this date?" All right, and so that's you got to show up. I think that's a really important part of the job. Let's talk about the book process for a few minutes now. So, what inspired you to write your whole book? Sometimes right, you can get started. That's a great thing. Lots of my friends, actually, I'm just reading one right now. It's an anthology. So she wrote one chapter of like 20, right? So that way 20 people are out putting the book around. But I think it's another level of commitment to write your own book. So I'm curious, how did you make that decision, and what's part of your process?
Yeah, well, part of that process is really my namesake. So my full name, Alexandre Dumas. I'm named after the author, so it's kind of in my blood to write already. So at some point, I was gonna write something. I've been looking in the mail for, several decades right now. Haven't seen the royalty check for Count of Monte Cristo or Three Musketeers, so I figured maybe I should write something so I can start getting my own checks. But the anthology process was really the spark of it. So 2024 was the first time I wrote a chapter, and I was selected to be the first chapter in this book called The Journey of Riches. And I had no idea. The publisher was like, "Hey, your story's so good. We're going to make it #1." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then last year I was on a virtual summit, and they transcribed my keynote into an AI version. We did some edits and all that stuff, but that was really funky too. But I felt like for this year, as far as where I wanted to go and where I see my speaking career, I knew that like that signature book, that flagship book, would be a great launching pad for that. Not saying that everything's solved, not all my problems, not all the world's going to change because of one book, but it's at least the step in the right direction. And I thought about it for a while, and it took me probably a couple months to really anchor in. I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I'll give you the sneak peek. Is really going to be like a 30-day, I don't want to say devotional, but 30-day guide.
Okay.
Right? Just an action plan, like an extension of my keynote already called Win from Within. And it's going to bring in some sports anecdotes. It's going to bring in obviously personal stories here and there, but I want it to be a very short, digestible read and
Yeah.
something that somebody can look at day 8, be like, oh man, this is where I got to look at for trying to get that competitive spirit again, trying to rekindle that thing that made me great or what I really wanted to do. So it ties in with that. And the process right now is really just about writing and no different from speaking, right? If you want to get better as a speaker, you have to speak. The more you speak, the more you speak. You kind of alluded to that with being in different rooms and networking and connecting with people. They don't see you, they can't hear you, they can't hire you. And with writing, same thing. I'm just writing every day, and it's not a lot, but I just want to commit to. Can I just put something on the page, even if it's a sentence? It might be a paragraph, where I might have the divine download at 3 in the morning, and then all of a sudden I'm can't stop myself. But writing every day. That's been the plan and process so far.
I really actually like that idea as either sort of devotional or something that you can write whatever you want, but you have a tangible action, right? That anybody
Yeah.
could do, right? To really, and the goal, I think your goal is to make change, right? Not just read this book, like go sit down and
Yeah.
go do something different.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Action oriented, always, all the time.
Action oriented. Yeah. What's one of your success stories? Like you've worked with a client and or somebody, or you gave a keynote and you really felt like you got somebody to not just think different, but they actually did something different. Do you have any story like that?
Yeah. So last year in October, I spoke for this group, NAMIC, the National Association for Multi Ethnicity and Communications. They had an annual conference in New York City. I came there, rocked out a breakout session, and one of the cool things, and I got to find a way if I can find the actual quote from somebody. They said that your presentation was so good that we get the fire marshal telling us we can't add more people to rooms. Like it became standing room only, all this stuff. I'm like, yes, I almost broke the law. Like that's a that's a great testimony. Like put that on the blimp somewhere. But so I had a great time, great experience that over the course of that conference. But what has really landed for me is people coming up to me afterwards, not even on site, but reaching out LinkedIn messages afterwards. Man, this was such a great presentation. Thank you for this. This is actually what I did with it. This one individual was inspired from my presentation. He was like, I think I can do that too. I think I can start speaking, and we're having some conversations about what that looks like and what that process of shifting from like that public speaker. I think that's where most people kind of confuse things. They're like, yeah, I want to be a public speaker. No, there's a difference between being public and then being a professional. And
Yeah.
pro, now it's a different level. You're at a different speed. You're thinking and creating at a different level. And I'm just excited for that individual because he's got a great message. He's got a huge bank of experience. And I think once that is, we kind of like have the marble here. We just got to find David in there. Once that's there, I mean, he's taken off. So
What are some of your distinctions from public to professional, right? So you've seen lots and lots of speakers. I know I have too. I'm just
yeah,
curious that what do you see in that public to professional, right? It is one thing already to stand up there, whether you're getting paid or not. It can be
yeah.
terrifying for some people. But what's the next, again, what are those some of those top distinctions that you have from somebody who goes from public to professional?
That's a great question. I would say the intention behind it, right? As a public speaker, I think a lot of it is about sharing my story and who I am, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But the shift I think is as a pro using that story to inspire change or to anchor into their point, right? It's one thing to be like, this happened to me. I grew up in this neighborhood, and and I fell off Mount Everest, and okay, that's wonderful. That's a great story. Nothing wrong with that. But now, how does this help me? And I think pros do that. You and other people in our circle have been able to build careers off of that. Of here's my story, and now I make it your story. I think that's one of the big shifts or big distinctions from professional to public.
I think that's a great distinction and I don't think everyone knows that because they start off with this desire to share my story. I think I have things to say, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and there's a big shift that comes around. At least that happened for me, is when you really focus more and more on the audience. Like everything that you do. all right, has an intention, and it's not the intention actually to put me up further on the stage, right? It's actually what can I do to help you from the stage, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's a story, sometimes it's an exercise or something else. But I always go through all of my talks, right? They're usually start with some big goal. All right. And then that comes around there and saying, why am I doing this? And I don't do anything in that 60 minutes or however much time that I have unless I think it's going to help them. And
Right.
what's I was going to think? But actually, I just got a compliment too as an MC that somebody was so they're a subject matter expert, but they were kind of they're a little dry, right? They're kind of monotone, they're kind of dry. And as an MC, what we decided to do was to turn it into a sort of fireside chat, right? So I was the other person, I was the interviewer, and
Okay.
that she said the person who organized the event said, "Oh, it was so great that you took somebody who's normally perceived in this way and found the warm spots and found how to make them human and again, all that's for the audience benefit."
Yeah.
And those are the small things that you can do to change that. I don't know if you've done anything like that as an MC. What's an MC moment that you're really proud about?
Oh gosh, the most recent one. This came over the weekend as I hosted NSA Carolina's second Saturday. So it's our monthly in-person gathering. So shout out to the Kakalakins out there at RTP.
Yeah.
But I had been planning this for a couple of weeks, and the thing that I curated was one, just kind of doing a quick intro, some housekeeping, things like that, just kind of get that out the, I don't say get out the way, but let people know, hey, this is what's coming up, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing. And also it was Professional Speaker Celebration Day, so that was something that I didn't even realize until the day before. So shout out to John Edwards, CSP, in our
Yes.
chapter, who posted about that. And I was like, oh, you know what? This would be kind of fun. It's Pi Day already, and obviously tying in with the theme of Cavett Robert, build a bigger pie. All right, let me just throw in a slide there, and I just play with the audience, like, hey, does anybody know what day it is today? They're like, oh, it's Saturday. I'm like, okay, what else about Saturday? Well, it's 3/14, it's Pi Day. Yeah, that's right, it's Pi Day. But did you know? And then I shared the info about it. People were like, holy crap, wait a minute. But it's not about that, right? It's just finding like these different, unique ways of keeping people interested and also just kind of surprising them. So we did that. Then I brought on one of our friends, one of our speakers, Jessica Myers, as a facilitator. So she led a nice EFT tap-in session for about 15 minutes.
Oh,
And
I
then
saw
I
that.
did,
I saw that online.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she rocks. And then I brought up a short panel of some of our powerful women speakers. So Sybil Stewart, who's hosting a TEDx event this weekend and at Morgan Street in downtown Raleigh. There's still tickets available if you want them. Eve Kyle, she came in runner up to our last story standing competition. That was a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. Dr. Susie Castellanos Hansley, she's delivering a TED Talk at the end of the month. And then the person you mentioned at the start, Dr. Holly Sullinger, Doc Holliday, pew pew pew, CSP as I like to call her.
Brand new CSP.
Yeah, brand new CSP, baby CSP. And it was just fun to do that because, for our other meetings, it's really focused on networking and doing some different activities. I wanted to slow it down for a second, highlight some of our women speakers, especially this being Women's History Month. So I think as an MC, just kind of having the pulse of what's going on around and doing the things that will serve the audience versus, all right, this is the Alex show. Okay, people like me and all that, but I'm not gonna be able to hold them for that long. There's other things I need to put in place to make sure that they're getting value, that they're actually walking away with some new ideas. And I get to also spotlight some of our other speakers too. It goes a long way.
Yeah, shout out to our MC friend Quinn Conyers, who's really trying to elevate, and I actually think though that you found one of the key secrets for those who want to be an MC is really, even though you are the one on stage, that one of your jobs is elevate others.
Yeah.
Right, elevate others. Even recently, I was in this. You saw that I was in this Canadian keynote, and it was all about CSP, and it was really like politically charged in some way. And the way out of it was to elevate others. Like I picked all Canadians, like I put all 60 CSPs on a screen, and called out 2 or 3 of them for different things. And I think that it is such a smart move. And actually, I resaw it again at last year's Influence. Right. So if you've
Yeah.
never been to Influence, Alex, you got to get it on your list. I'm sure Frank Kitchen will tell you that. And
Yeah.
that last year, one of the Hall of Famers came in and got asked to talk about these speaking topics, and I don't know if I remember if it's a he or she, but what they decided to do was to bring three Hall of Famers to demonstrate each one of the three techniques for like 8 minutes, right?
Wow.
And it sounds simple, but many keynoters, even some top keynoters, would not have taken this approach. As opposed to this person decided, actually, they just became an MC to these three people, and from the audience seat, it was so valuable because we got so much value around that. I mean, you saw the other one last year. I created a program, right, which is like stop losing, all your audience now, or stop losing
Yeah.
attention. And we featured many of the keynoters at my conference for 7 minutes apiece. And it turned out to be like one of the greatest programs. I had one of my local friends came back and he said, this might have been the greatest virtual program of the year. And I was like, wow. And so there's something to that in the different ways that we engage. So congratulations to you.
For that, we got to celebrate that.
Oh wait, like I found something else. Hold on a second. Check out this new feature that I got. So I don't know if you can see this, but on
Look,
Zoom,
all the hands, the thumbs ups,
That's
right.
right.
I see the.
Okay, that's right.
You just bombed it.
So that's the new one. Is that you can stick it onto a Stream Deck button. There, this one should come up on screen, and you can hit it repeatedly. Yeah, you can't do it on like if you do it in Zoom with a mouse, you actually have to click it one by time.
Yeah, I'm like spamming the button. I feel like Street Fighter with Super NES. Like you're cheesing.
Okay. Are you a video game aficionado or not?
When I was younger, yeah. Nowadays, my kids are like so far advanced. They're like, Dad, do the move. Can't you just go? Like, I'm like, I used to be able to just go through walls. Like now, it was like real. It's too realistic for me. It's
the best thing that you can do is play with your kids and let them kill you.
I don't even have to let them. They got it on
That's
their
what
own.
I'm saying. It's not
They're like,
hard.
Dad, like you're so cringe. Like, just leave.
You're so cringe. That's right. I just learned. I was watching Survivor, and they added a few other words that I haven't heard. I thought for my kids, cinema.
Oh,
That's so
geez.
cinema. I know. I'm like and they were all. Everyone was, of course, vibe, right? Everyone was chatting about vibe.
It's a vibe check.
Oh my gosh! All right. Meanwhile, back on the track. Okay, so what did you do? You were 2022. Where were you in pandemic? Where were you in March of 2020?
North Kakalaki, right? I'm from New York originally, but North Carolina's been home since 2017, and I was working as a program manager for a coach, so I was going to events several times a year, managing a lot of the chaos, setting up stations for like the sales coaches on site there to enroll people for programs, and we had the stay-at-home orders. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be like 2 weeks, all right, no big deal. 2 weeks turned into 2 months and like 2 years, and I wound up leaving that role because with my kids home, they were, what are they? Yeah, my son was he's about to go into first grade or kindergarten, and my daughter's in 5th grade. So I decided, let me take on homeschooling them. If I had hair, John, it would have been ripped out because, wow, whatever we were paying teachers in the world, double it because they deserve it. I love them, and I was ready to I can't imagine someone with like 20, 25, 30 of, anyway. It was quite a process.
Shout out to all the teachers out there. I have some clients that are middle school teachers, and they, what they do often is a miracle sometimes with some of these, and such a variety of different kids, right?
Yeah.
Such a variety of different styles.
It was a full circle moment because I was actually pursuing my master's for special education, elementary ed. It didn't work out, so here I am. God's like, you know what? All these years later, you wanted to teach your own. And how you like them apples.
So you've hung out with us here at the Engaging Retreat and other different kinds of things here. I'm curious, what are you doing now, right, to engage your audiences, Alex? You told me a few that you did, of course, by bringing other people on. But I'm curious, like when you're keynoting or when you're presenting or workshopping, what are a few of your favorite things to do to make sure that your audience is with you?
Yeah, that's a great one. One of the ones I just recently did, I was speaking for a very unique association. So shout out to the National Association of Professional Pet Sitters. Yeah. They hosted an annual conference. Yeah, this goes to show you that there's community everywhere. So someone's like, I'm alone. you're not. There's somebody out there for you. There's some people who have a similar interest. Just do your best to find them. But
That's right.
one of the things I tested out was having what I call an MVP, a volunteer. So I just asked this young lady, "Hey, would you help me out with a couple of things I'm doing here?" So as I'm talking, it's almost like a game show. I'm like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Right? Just including her, and then kind of bounce it off to other people's ideas. I love to physically walk around the tables because I think that just wakes people up. It's like a teacher in school, like, "Oh, I'm paying attention. I'm on my phone." Like, right? It's just one of these subtle, subconscious things of like just the proximity. Like I'm near you. Hey, now I'm paying attention to you. You're paying attention to me.
Yeah.
One of the other things I love to do is just it's a fundamental thing, and I think most people would skip by this, but they don't realize how valuable this is about showing up early.
Oh,
Right. Whether it's 1 hour early, or hopefully if it's an out of town thing, showing up a day early, getting to feel the space, so to speak. Right. I want to visualize the room. I want to know where am I going to stand here? How am I going to deliver this moment here? And just really run through the game film in my head and talking to people. I think that always helps just to warm up. And now I have a friend in the room. Hey, how's it going, John? How's it going, Frank? How's it going, Maria? How's it going, Holly? Right now I know them by name. Like, oh man, and their stories actually tie into different things that I have. So now it's like, wow, he's really listening to me. He knows me like I do, and it's also part of, like, I hate to say like the magician trick, but like the prestige of it. This is like how I'm able to bring these things together. So these are a couple of things that I do, along with just actually I'll have to put up the clip pretty soon, but like one of the things I like to do is just kind of break up the flow. I call it game time. So I'll have people do it with me. I'll be like, "It's game time." I'm like, "Now you do it with me." Like, and everybody's shouting and screaming it, and then and they see the screen because like I changed colors for this one particular slide once it's time to like to do these reflective exercises. But people love it. They get it, like, "Oh, it's game!" Like they're screaming before I even get a chance to prompt them. I'm like, "All right, let's rock and roll."
That's great too. I actually, I mean, I definitely advocate for things like, walk around. I'm the first person to get off stage, right? And the other part around it too, especially if you come around and you're pre-planned, you got a handheld mic, which is you're gonna talk to somebody in the audience. Now they're paying attention because they're like, "Oh God, what if he picks me?" Right? And so there is that part, and there is that other part too. Like if there are people texting, I've done like crazy things. Like you'll just sit down, like I love when a phone rings. When a phone rings in the
Oh,
middle,
yeah.
right? And you're like, "Hey, can I answer it?" You can do all sorts of improv stuff inside of that. I don't know if you've seen Matt Rife like do calls in the middle of his stand-up.
Yes,
now.
yeah, he's hilarious. He's
Oh my gosh, right? So that's the kind of stuff that you want to do. The showing up early also tells your meeting planner that I'm not just here to work for the hour you paid me. Like I'm here to
yeah,
work the whole conference. And I take the long view approach, which is the other reason why I do that too, not only to help the talk, but I'm building relationship. Like,
yeah,
I'll have an expectation to ideally show up back here again, for one reason or another. And so the longer I stick around them, the more I understand them. So like, for
yeah,
instance, I'm in a healthcare association conference, and it's been my 8th year. And I really now know these people. And the best part is my dad was a doctor. My mom actually was a long-term care nurse. So I really understand their challenges. I actually grew up, walking around long-term care facilities, and that helps. All of that is a help to say, "Oh, he actually understands what we're doing," as opposed to you're a complete stranger. You don't know anything about my
right,
life.
yeah,
So
yeah. I don't want to be the blow and go guy, like the wham bam, thank you, man. Like, hey, here's some Uber money on your nightstand. Like, I'll call you. No, I take it personally as I'm part of this event too, so I want to make sure that I do everything possible to elevate it, and kind of what you're sharing with like the event planner, the meeting planner, of just easing their mind. They're like, "Oh my goodness, he's here. Don't have to worry about it." Like they got it, and I really position everything as like, "Hey, I'm a partner with you." And whether I come back to your stage or not again, but my reputation means that much to me that at some point, I don't know when, I don't know where, but you're gonna be like, "You know what, that Alex guy, he really helped us out with this thing. I think you should talk to him. He'd be great for your conference, or he'd be great for your podcast, whatever it is." So your reputation goes a long way.
Okay, what's the coolest or weirdest or craziest thing that you've ever gotten to do? Here, I'll give you an example. Like one of them, we were just talking with one of my teammates today, and so we were looking at the challenge of expos that are dead. Like when an expo is dead, right? The people who paid a lot of money are very unhappy, and so
Yeah.
I've actually developed for over a decade gamification and other incentive style programs. And so one of them is that one, anybody can win. So it's not just the top players. It's like as long as you interact with the expo, you get a chance to win. And the second one is to invent better than expected prizes. So one of them was that Deepak Chopra, right, the
Yeah.
meditation expert. He was at this speaking at this conference, and they had four extra seats to a VIP private meditation session he was doing with sponsors. And so
Ooh.
they said, I kept asking these questions, and that's when I figured out. They said, "Well, we got these four extra tickets." And I'm like, "Give them to me as this prize." And they're like, "Okay." So we raffled off a prize, and this top meeting planner from San Francisco got in there, and it turned out she had never meditated ever once in her lifetime. And her first
Wow.
time, she actually got to meditate with Deepak Chopra leading the meditation. And she said, it blew her away, and she's like, I'm gonna go check this out. And so that was something I was kind of like responsible for. So what about you, Alex? What's something that you've done at a conference that really to add unexpected value to the meeting planner?
Great question. I'll have to go back to that first event in January 2022. It was out in Phoenix, Arizona, and it was a large crowd, 300 people. First time for me, obviously. Like, okay, time to deep breaths. Like, just lock in. Like, it's not time to get into your head about like, what about? Nope, it's game time, right? And during one of the lulls, so to speak, I had this. I don't know what possessed me. I don't know. Spirit came over me. I was just like, I'm gonna go into the crowd and just start talking to people. And then this one particular guest, she had her two sons, and both of them are special needs individuals. And that's my background in the nonprofit space. I used to
Oh,
work with folks with autism, traumatic brain injuries, you name it. I've worked with them. Yeah. Anyway, I I literally just got on my knee, bent down, was like, "Hey, kids, what are you thinking about the event? What's going on here?" I'm talking to them, and then this other guest had her triplets, three twins, her triplets, right?
that's six kids, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Just like I just doubled it. I just doubled it. Like that's something we double up here, right? I started speaking to them, and people came up to me. I was like, "Wow, thank you for bringing the children involved in this." I'm like, "Well, it's tough, to be a kid. You hear about like all of his business leadership mumbo jumbo. It's like I need to get on their level, like literally crouch down, and it was a hit, and it wasn't anything. I was like, all right, now for this part of the program, I'm really gonna get them with these kid things. Like, nah, it just came through me, and I'm like, and I saw them,
Yes.
and it's like, hey, what's going on with you? Just have a conversation, encourage them, and then keep them moving. But it went a long way.
Well, Frank Kitchen will love this story, right? Like talk about improv. Like I was improving. I was the auctioneer at a program, and it's for theater, right? So it's kids theater, and actually they help special needs kids too. So some of they provide acting space for kids, like for instance with autism and other types. It's very very cool. It's a really cool program. So this is their fundraiser, and it was during the Halloween, right? So it's all
Mm.
everyone's in costume. And of course we got some props, right? It's not high end props, but they have a big ghost, like a ghost, and it's like the one that you can put candy in and stuff like that. I don't know what came over me, but I'm running the auction, right? And all of a sudden it says use the ghost, right? That's all I get as a message.
Yeah.
I like, use the ghost. So all I do is, and the bid stalled out. It was like one of the high end items. It was like worth 7 grand, and we're about maybe $800, and it's like that's pretty disappointing to only get 800, but 800
Yeah.
bucks for that. So all of a sudden it just get the ghost. So I pick up the ghost, right? And I said, here's what the value is like this. Not only for $800, you're going to get all of this value, and you're gonna get this ghost. So I physically give him the ghost, right? And then, right, somebody else was like, who's gonna write? I got 800. Who's gonna give me 9? Right? So all of a sudden, another bid comes in, and I come over and take the just. I'll take that, right? You got $900 and this ghost, right? And it was so funny. It was just like give me that, right? And you're gonna give it,
Yeah.
and you're gonna take it away, and the physical item, right,
Yeah.
was such a big deal. Like the bid went up to like almost 6 grand after that.
That's amazing. Great job.
And most of all, it's like all that money goes to the nonprofit in this case, which is
Yeah.
really, again, why are we doing some of these things? But that little, like, is like less than a $2 ghost to really help build that from like 800 to 6 grand. So,
That's a markup right there. That's what you call conversion and all.
yeah,
That's a KPI for you.
that's an ROI, right?
Yeah,
Get 'em
all
all.
right, yeah.
We can get all the TLAs, three-letter acronyms. One other question, Alex. So what do you see in the future of speaking for you, for speaking and emceeing? What do you see like 10 years from now, right? What tech would you like to be seeing? What do you think you'd like to be seeing or doing yourself 10 years from now?
Oh, great question. I'd love to see definitely some more destination events and engagements, right? Just going around the world and doing things like you just mentioned, right? Of supporting different nonprofits and organizations, because that was a big part of why I started out, right? So a quick story about that January event, 2022, that started off with myself and 3 other coaches just trying to raise money so we could pay off a coach that we were going to work with. That converted into raising that same amount of money we were going to pay him, but donate it to different charities. Right? And it took a lot of pressure off, because my energy initially was like, please help me, my begging bowl, like, please, sir, like, get me out of the jam. I'm in over my head right now. I need to pay this person. And it came to, I'm going to tell some stories. I'm going to tell you about this organization. I'm going to tell you why we're doing this. Can you share it? Can you help us? And I want to be able to do that for different countries, communities out there. So yeah, in 10 years, that would be amazing, hosting my own events and bringing dynamic speakers, NSA Carolina folk, bring all the folks, bring all the people here. We'll figure it out.
In the Carolinas, right? Yeah. Well, I hope you think about your favorite friend when you want video production.
Yes.
And the other one is, I really want you to actually pick up. Have you read this book called Charity Water?
I haven't heard of it. What is it called?
This one I want you to pick up. It's called Charity Water.
Charity Water. All right.
And the short version of the story is that this was a guy who was a nightclub producer in New York City who was basically selling blow and bottle service, and he goes on and starts using almost all the similar techniques and tactics to raise money to build clean water wells around the world.
Wow.
And one of our friends actually just raised money and traveled with him, and where they bring clean water for the first time to a village where the kids used to be drinking, like literally germ-infested water beforehand.
Wow.
And so this is a very inspiring book. And if you haven't, I saw him speak, and he's one of the top speakers I've seen in the last 2 years. So that's why I recommend it, and especially for your nonprofit work, to make sure and check that out. Okay, so
thank you.
now we come to this part of the interview, which is called the speed interview.
Ooh.
Which is, I've been writing questions while we've been talking here, and I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to try and answer it as fast as possible, and I'm going to play some ridiculous sound. All right. So, are you ready, Alex?
All right, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Question number 1: your favorite thing to do with your kids?
Play music, play sports, and watch movies. Yeah.
Yeah, watch movies. That was a long delay. All right, what sports are your kids playing?
My son's in soccer. Soccer. My daughter, she's a marching band athlete, and we've done taekwondo together, some boxing, basketball, football, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, soccer's the main sport in the house right now.
Come on, you got to come to Seattle, right? We got FIFA coming into the city.
Ooh, let's go.
That's your Seattle, Washington trip right there. All right. Okay, here you go. Something your mom taught you.
That birds of a feather flock together. If you want to soar, you go with eagles. If you want to waddle, go with ducks.
If you want to waddle. I'm ready to play the wobble. Ready?
Waddle, waddle away. The duck song.
Okay, here we go. Sales tip for new speakers.
Connect with other speakers. Be of service. Serve first. Ask later.
Oh, good one. All right. Favorite conference besides mine?
Oh, man, yours is really good. I love your virtual ones. Gosh. That I've been to or that I want to go to?
Either one. I don't care.
The one that I host.
Oh.
Oh, it's taking me back to the clubs, man, in New York.
Old school. I know. What's the name of your conference going to be? It could be. What could it be?
Could be the Abundance Leadership Conference, something like that. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
All right, I'll give you the other one. Win from within.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, the winner's circle, something like that. Yeah, that
Keep
could
the
work.
brand rolling right on top
Yeah.
of everything. The book, the website, they're just everything roll on top of each other. Okay. Favorite superhero and why?
Gosh, oh my Lord. Even though it should be Batman, but my favorite is Spawn, Tom McFarlane's character. And the reason why, because when it was the HBO show, it was super dark and intense, but like I saw myself through him as somebody who made a lot of bad decisions, was kind of broken, and had a chance to rebuild himself. Even though he had to go through hell, but I like how Tim Grover says that the road to paradise starts in hell.
Oh, wow. That's a whole book right there. Here, wait, hold on. You have this here. Okay. Best writer you're inspired by?
Steve Chandler's a really good one. He's a coach. Gosh. I mean, my favorite book is the autobiography of Malcolm X with Alex Haley, and obviously Malcolm X co-writing it. So that book was a life changer for me.
Yes. Yes. I don't even know what to do for that. Yes.
Yeah. Do you have a Little John? Like,
even better, right? I'm going to break the internet. Ready?
So quick story about that.
Everybody!
Yesterday at my son's soccer game, they wound up losing, but like I was going like, you guys just gotta take shots. Get Little John on the horn. Shots. So my wife was like, don't, the kids, you can't say it. I'm like, they gotta take shots. Shots. Come on, let's go.
Hey, shots on goal. Yeah,
Yes.
Shots on goal.
Shots on goal.
Yeah. You can need a pamphlet to explain it to the parents.
This is why I'm not allowed outside unsupervised. I tell people this is why I'm not allowed to be by myself.
This is when improv gets you into trouble. Okay.
Yes.
3 words to explain what you feel when you're speaking or emceeing. 3 words.
Uncaged, unleashed, and connected.
Okay. How do I win from within?
You get focused. You get intentionally, insanely focused on something bigger than yourself, and the world will bend to your will.
Oh, here, you'll like this one. Ready? I was trying to find all the engage quotes for engaging, and I found, of course, right, Luke Picard. Bend your will. It's funny. I'm just doing that recently. I have this new goal that I'm working on, and I really recently focused and took all this massive action. And I'm waiting for the results to show up from it, but it's happening. It's happening right now. Okay, last question of here then, Alex. If you could get people to magically remember one thing from this entire podcast, what would your one thing be?
Ooh. That you're born to win too. It's not just for me. You get to win too.
Genius. And that it's everybody. Everyone has a shot to win. We are all playing a game.
And you can say, I'm not throwing away my shot.
Kobe!
That's right. Oh, do we have to say Bam now because he just passed him? I don't know. It'd always be Kobe.
I know.
For me.
Yeah, who shot 83 points, right? Well, that guy.
Bam. I forgot I don't want to say his last name, but Bam from Miami Heat. We'll put an asterisk on that. Well, anyway, I'm not going to hate. That 83 is 83, so congrats.
Well, genius. Well, Alex, thank you so much. I hope everyone who listens to this will also win from within. And if you get a win, make sure and chat. Alex, thanks again for being a guest here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast.
Appreciate it. Thanks, John.
All right. Well, we're here. We've been talking with the one and only Alex Dumas, and he says, you were born to win. Imagine that. So the whole question is, if you were playing a game, What would you like to win today? Make sure and hit the chat with that. If you're watching here on social media, make sure and subscribe, share, like, and comment. Come on, be my number 1,000 subscriber on YouTube. That will be a landmark moment. If you want all the episodes, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.online. Get all the episodes as well as a new episode every single Wednesday. And if you want to be engaging like Alex, well, you got to come attend with him, whether you do it virtually or in person right here in Seattle, October 20th through 22nd this year. Take your phone, turn on the camera, scan this QR code, get a free ticket for crying out loud, right? Or check out one of our cool, amazing paid tickets so you can really get a front row seat. And last of all, if you want to be like Alex, then you need to go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/meet, select interview, and you too could be the next guest here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. For the win!
Always start people and keep people. Show you got